Hello, everyone. We're going to get started right at 12:15. It is now 12:15, so we're going to get started with today's presentation. Thank you, everyone, for attending. My name is Andrew from Geisinger Health and Wellness, and today we're going to be discussing macronutrients. And again, welcome to our very first Wellness Wednesday. Just our general disclaimer, this may look familiar to you if you've been on some of our other presentations. This information is being provided in order to increase your awareness. It is not intended to be used as medical advice. If you believe that you may have any medical conditions or have specific questions regarding your health, please speak with your physician. So again, thank you for joining. This is the very first Wellness Wednesday. We're very excited to have you. And today's topic is macronutrients. So if you have ever heard anyone say that they are tracking their macros and you've wondered what that meant exactly, we're going to cover that today. In today's session, we're going to review what macronutrients are, and we're going to explore all of their unique roles in our body. We're going to also take some time to debunk some common myths about macronutrients that you've probably heard, and we're going to identify sources of the macronutrients and how you can include them in your diet. Overall, I hope you leave today's session with a better understanding of what macronutrients are and some basic skills to create a more balanced diet by incorporating them, as well as just the information. If you guys have any questions as we go, Q&A is enabled. So I will get to your guys' questions at the end, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. You could just check the chat for those answers. So just to begin, we're going to talk about nutrients. So nutrients are the compounds in food that are essential to life and health, and they're used in our body to function properly and just maintain our overall health and well-being. And there are 6 categories for nutrients. So there's protein, carbohydrates, and fats. Those 3 make up our macronutrients. And then there are minerals, vitamins, and water, and those make up our micronutrients. And what the difference is, macronutrients are the nutrients that a person is going to need in large amounts because those are the primary building blocks of our diet. And that's what we're going to discuss today. And there's also micronutrients. Those are where small amounts are going to go a very long way. We're not going to discuss those today. So why exactly macronutrients are so important? They all serve a key function in your body, and we're going to go over these quite a bit today. But carbohydrates, to start out, these are our body's preferred energy source for several tissues in our body. And they're also the primary energy source for our brain. So our brain and our bodies could use all of these different ones, but carbohydrates are the #1 choice for most optimal use. Protein, that's going to play an essential role in the growth, development, repair, and rebuilding and maintenance of all of our body's tissues. And then fats, that's primarily going to be responsible for hormone production and regulation, as well as cell growth, energy storage, as well as the absorption of fat soluble vitamins, so A, D, E, and K vitamins. That could only happen if there is fat in our body. And we'll get to those in more detail in upcoming slides. But the thing that all of these macronutrients have in common is that they provide the body with energy and they help prevent disease and just allow our bodies to function properly. So that's why it's so important to make sure you're getting all of the macronutrients. They're available in wide variety of food sources, so they're not hard to get. However, each person needs a different amount, varying on factors such as their weight, their age, and pre-existing health conditions. So we're going to talk about what the daily recommended percentages from each one of these are, but we're not going to talk about calories because the calories that you need is going to vastly vary from person to person. So if that's something that you're looking to get more information on, how many calories you exactly need, there's a lot of websites, a lot of calculators and apps that you could use where it will ask you some of these demographic questions and it could tell you how many calories you need, and then you could do the breakout of the percentages that we'll go over. But just so you're aware of that. So the first is carbohydrates, and again, this is the body's primary source of energy. And according to the dietary guidelines for Americans, carbohydrates should make up anywhere from 45 to 65% of your total daily calories. And again, they are found in numerous sources of food. Most of us typically, when we think of carbohydrates, we're thinking of bread, we're thinking of pasta, and we're thinking of rice. But they could also be found in all of the things listed on the screen here. So dairy products, milk and yogurt, you could find it in your starchy vegetables. So your potatoes, corn, and peas. You'll find it in fruits and fruits juices, and of course your grains or your pasta, your bread, your rice, crackers, cereals, as well as beans and such. And then also don't forget your sweets, your cakes, your cookies. Very easy to find some carbohydrates in your diet. However, there are 2 different types and they are different. So one common myth that we often hear, especially nowadays, is that carbs are the enemy. Carbs make you fat, they make you gain weight. But that's not true. The truth is that carbs are very calorically dense, meaning that you could eat a little bit and get a lot of calories from it. And they're also very easy to overconsume. So take potato chips, for example. How many do you think you could realistically eat in one sitting? Probably a lot. And there are a lot of calories for not a lot of them. So people think that carbohydrates make you fat, but what it really is that you're just very likely over consuming them, and that is what is leading to weight gain. So just wanted to clear up because that is a myth. Carbs do not make you fat. But the two different types of carbohydrates are complex and simple. Complex carbs, they pack in more nutrients like fiber, vitamins, and minerals, and they're also digested more slowly in your body, leading that to be more filling, so you don't need to eat as much. You're going to find these are going to be your brown rices, your whole grain breads and pastas and beans. These are the ones that we want. The more complex carbs, the better for you. Whereas your simple carbs or your simple sugars are just sugar. They're very refined, where you are removing the bran and the germ. It's removing the B vitamins, iron, fiber in the process. So you're losing out on all of those nutrients. They're a very quick source of energy, and you're only really going to see those in, your white breads, your white rice, your white pasta, your soda, your donuts. So almost everything. So again, more complex the better. We want to be having those complex carbs. So that's why you always hear us preach, you want to get your whole grains in. You want to choose whole grains first. They're much better for you. Moving on to fats. That functions there again, vitamin and mineral absorption, blood clotting, cell building, muscle movement, hormone production, regulation. And you want to get about 20 to 35% of your daily calories from fats. And there's three different types of fats that we're going to talk about briefly. There's saturated fats, trans fats, and unsaturated fats. And not all of them are equal. But before we talk about those different types of fats, there is, of course, myths associated with fats that are still around today that are just simply not true. So those three common myths that we hear is one, eating fat is going to make you fat or it's going to cause weight gain. Two, our bodies don't need any fats. And three, all fat-free foods are healthy. And the truth is, and it's the same story for the carbohydrates, is that eating too many calories from any food source is going to cause weight gain, but just eating fats isn't going to make you fat. However, specifically with over-consuming fat, that may pose risks for increased cholesterol, increased blood pressure. In turn, that could lead to an increased risk for heart disease and stroke and things like that. So that's the first myth. The second one, we do need fats. Our bodies do need us to eat them. And again, that's because we could only digest fat-soluble vitamins if we eat fat. We need mineral absorption, all of those reasons that we listed on the previous slide. And the last one, all fat-free foods are healthy. That is not true, because oftentimes if you read labels, you will see that either reduced fat or fat-free foods, they often will inject either additives or sugar in there to improve the flavor and improve the texture of these foods. So it's very important to read the nutrition labels for, full fat products versus reduced and fat-free, and see. You would be surprised the calorie difference, the sugar difference, and things like that. So all of these are myths. These are not true. These have been around for a long time. Just remember, these are myths. These are not the truth here. So moving into the different types of fats. So the first one is saturated fats. These are going to be the fats that are going to increase your cholesterol levels, cause increased risk for heart disease and stroke and things like that. And these are the fats that are coming from animal sources. So think of your meat, your red meat, and your dairy products. These are also your solids at room temperature. So for example, if you leave out bacon grease after you cook up a pan of bacon, what happens? It's going to turn to a solid, and it's not going to take long at all. So think of your greases and your butters. That is saturated fats. So again, your hamburger, your steak, your pork chops, your whole milk, your cheese, anything like that. These all increase the risk of heart disease and bad cholesterol. I'm not saying not to eat these. You just want to limit the amount that you're having of these. Unsaturated fats, these are our almonds, avocados, salmon, nuts, seeds, olive oil. These are your liquids at room temperature. This is the type of fat that you do want in your diet, and you want to increase the amount that you're having. Your stomach could actually digest this fat easier, and it's also cardioprotective, meaning that it's going to protect your heart. You also need this type of fat because it promotes healthy eyes, healthy skin and hair, and it also aids in blood clotting to stop bleeding when you're injured. So this is why we need to make better choices when it comes to the type of fat that we're having, because they are clearly not all equal. Because unsaturated fats, these actually help to lower your bad cholesterol, your LDL cholesterol, and also decrease your triglyceride counts. And they're providing those essential fats to your body. So these are the ones that we want to have more of. And then lastly, when we look at trans fats, these are formed through an industrial process, meaning that they're man-made. These are not naturally occurring. These are something that we have created to make food, either improve the taste or the shelf life of these. So the manufactured name for trans fats is partially hydrogenated oils. And again, this is just to keep food from spoiling and make it taste a little bit better. So you really want to be mindful of these. You want to read the labels because you don't want to have any of these in your diet. You want to limit these and make it close to zero a day as you can because there is absolutely no health benefits to eating these. These are found in your baked goods, whether it's cookies or cakes or crackers, in your snacks, fried foods, even creamers and margarine. I often refer to these as fair foods or bizarre foods, the things you would get at maybe like a church picnic or a fair. These are all the things that, you want to really limit what you're having. Again, there's no health benefits for these. And the FDA is actually working to eliminate these from the food supply altogether because they drastically increase the risk for heart disease and drastically increase your bad cholesterol levels. And the last macronutrient is protein. Protein is providing the building blocks of your body. Every single cell, whether it's bone to skin to hair, they all contain protein. And protein is needed to maintain the strength of your blood, your muscles, your heart. It's extremely important. It also aids in healing wounds, protecting our skin. And again, it's very easy to get sources of protein, eggs, chicken, turkey, milk, cheese. However, when we're looking at servings of protein foods, usually the equivalent is more than 1 ounce. So what I mean by that is, for example, a piece of meat that's about the size of a deck of cards or a can of tuna. These are usually 3 ounce equivalents, and that would be your one portion for those, your 1 ounce equivalents. And protein needs, like all of these other ones, are going to vary based on several factors, your age, sex, health status, and activity level. But again, according to those dietary guidelines, you're looking to get anywhere from 10 to 35% of your daily calories coming from protein. So that was a lot of information. So let's put it all together. This is just a brief overview of what we already talked about, but all of these macronutrients are essential. You need them in large amounts, and you don't want to cut any of them out of your diet. You don't want to go on a fad diet that is saying, okay, we're not going to eat any carbohydrates, we're not going to eat any fat or protein, because as you guys know, we need all of these for different reasons. So don't exclude any of them from your diet unless there's a medical need to. And again, your daily caloric needs are going to vary largely per person. So it's very important to consult with a healthcare provider if you have any chronic conditions which may impact your diet. But again, looking at that pie chart on the table, you want 45 to 65% of your calories to come from carbohydrates, 20 to 35% from fat, and then anywhere from 10 to 35% from proteins. Feel free to take a picture of this slide before I move on to it. This is the putting it all together. And then last, if anything really resonated with you guys today and you want more information or more help, these would be some of the best resources for you guys today to go to the next steps here. If you're looking for some individualized telephonic health coaching to just start building some of these healthy habits, if this is new information to you and you're looking to make some lifestyle changes, you can either call the number on the screen or send us an email. If you are looking on how you can support your health and wellness through healthy cooking, you could enroll in one of our culinary medicine cooking classes. Or if you're looking to improve your nutrition, or if you may be living with a chronic condition such as diabetes, we could help you achieve a healthier lifestyle through clinical nutrition. So again, I'm going to pause here if you guys want to take a picture, write down any of the numbers. That concludes our very first Wellness Wednesday. Again, my name is Andrew from Geisinger Health and Wellness, and I want to thank you guys for coming today. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. This is also our member resources slide of just some things that are available to you. Again, feel free to take a picture of this slide as well or write down the links. But thank you. We're right at 12:30, so we will see you next month for our next topic. So thank you guys again. I hope you guys have a great day.